What's happening, y'all? What's good? What's good? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. This is a show where we discuss what's trending and also thought-provoking topics from the fields of politics, sports, pop culture, and really all the above. On today's show, I'm very excited to have the one and only Mr. Mikey G, host of Black Owned World, a YouTube channel that showcases Black-owned businesses through interviews, podcasts, as well as just promoting and hearing the story through the entrepreneur, through the business owner, and more in depth. I kind of consider it like a great directory as well as commentary at the same time. And it's Black owned world is such an important phrase, such an important term, man, such an important thing that all people outside of the Black community should really read up on and focus on, because being a business owner myself, and I'm Black, I've come across benefits as well as the cons, and it's never all the time easy being a minority business owner. We have issues when it comes to certain access and resources to capital, being involved in certain networking spaces because of the complexion of our skin. And people always think like, what? That was in the past. Nope. It still exists. It still very much exists. So this gentleman, I came across from him because I came across his platform because a good friend of mine, shout out to Dapper Luke, Mr. Luke Hastic. I've had him on the show many times. He's a dear friend of mine. Luke, I've known Luke for almost 6 years. He I have a few pieces from him. He also the guy that designed my wedding suit. So I saw it on his platform and I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. This is truly something special. And I'm always, team changing the narrative, because we see a lot of people involved in social media and TV and the whole 9 yards, and they think that you have to be famous by acting a fool, and that's not the case. That's not the case. Money is not the root of all. Money's not everything. It's not the root of every cause. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, I could use a couple of dollars here and there, but you still got to stick with your core values and realize, hey, look, what you do represents a whole community. And if you act a fool, guess what? People are going to continue to assume everybody. And that's unfortunate. So I'm very, very excited to have Mikey J on. We're going to be speaking about his platform, a little bit about him as well, but also like the mission and all the issues, that the pros and cons when it comes to being a Black owned business owner. But before I bring him on, before I even continue more on the show, look, thank you again for tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. You can tune into new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast. So wherever you listen to your podcast, whether that's Odyssey, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, you name it, hey, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. All you have to do is just type in R Smooth Club Media, and you'll find all of our amazing shows. Again, the audio versions drop on those exact days. You see it rolling down at the ticker at 10 a.m. Now, if you prefer to watch the video version of this show, you can do so by going to our YouTube channel, R Smooth Club Media. New video episodes will drop on those exact same days at 5 p.m. So R Smooth Club Media on YouTube, the Arrington Gavin Show on Rumble, R Smooth Club Podcasts on Facebook, as well as RSC Media on X, formerly known as Twitter. Also Saturdays and Sundays, you can check reruns of the program from Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. on ESP TV. And then also on ErnestSmithProductions.com. So ESP TV on Facebook and Ernest Smith Production online. So ErnestSmithProductions.com. The show continues to grow, y'all. As I mentioned before, we are in some talks with some radio stations about possibly bringing this show to the radio circuit, so we continue to grow. Even you can put us in the category of syndication. So hey, Lord willing, I try to do good all the time. Yeah, I do. I'm a good person. I am. So I hope we can continue to grow this platform. Also, what else do I have for you all? Before I bring on this guest, look, I have started a segment here on the program called Common Sense University, and Common Sense University is simply where I will find either stories or video clips of people doing some dumb stuff. And I know they probably they probably graduated from undergrad. They probably have a master's. They probably have a PhD. But guess what? Like I always say, if you are not top of your class in Common Sense University, I'm sorry, life will be much harder for you. Okay. So I want to show you this video because I saw it on the news, and then it came across my feed, and I'm like, I gotta talk about it. Slightly graphic, so don't stare too hard at it. But this happened in Mexico recently. A lady enjoying the beach in Mexico with family, and a bull. First of all, I don't know where a bull just goes loose, but apparently it was a farm of bulls that's close by the beach. Again, common sense tells me I ain't got to step foot on that beach for one. But I digress. But there's a bull wandering around the beach. He goes through the lady's trash, and excuse not a lady's lunch bag, and she starts kind of playing with it here and there, like, oh, so cute. Let me just go ahead and pull the graphic for you. Let me pull the video. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Because y'all know, I'm learning when it comes to technology, but I'm improving though. I'm improving. Thank you. I have some of y'all in the comments that saying, okay, I see you. Yep. I do try because I'm continue to learn every day. Let me pull this graphic. All righty. Let me wait until it pops up. There we go. Up, almost coming. There we go. So this is off the TMZ IG page. So as you see the bull right there. He's sniffing in the lady's lunch. She's obviously initially she was playing with it like, oh, let me feed it. And then she tries to take it away. And that bull wasn't having. Let me go ahead and play this for you guys.
Ay, la señora.
You are really playing with it right now. Please don't do that. Please get away. Are you kidding me? Jesus. Lady, please get away. You're not doing us any favors. Get him. Get the fuck away.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna stop it right there. I ain't gonna go too into details, but let's just say the lady was a little sore the next day. And normally in Mexico, you're sore probably because you're hungover. Nope. I got ran over by a bull. That's what happened. I got ran over by a bull. And yeah. So as you know, Common Sense University, you're gonna be like, Arrington, what's your thoughts on this? What is your thoughts on this? I'm gonna tell you what my thoughts is. I'll be honest. If I see anything loose that's four-legged, I'm backing away. I don't care the size. I don't care. It could be small. I'm backing away. It's funny. So a local university, HBCU, shout out to Norfolk State University, behold the green and gold. They had a graduation recently, and there was a loose fox. And I'm talking that fox was in the bleachers, in the stands. And, campus police tried to get it, wasn't successful. Animal control was on the way. When I tell you, if you want to see everybody do the wave, everybody were like they were getting up, going crazy. Let me tell you something. And the fox didn't harm anybody, but us black people like that don't have a collar on it. Nope, that ain't my friend. I'm not here to shelter any animals, especially not a bull. So Common Sense University, man, and I'm happy the lady is safe. She's perfectly fine. She walked away from that. And, luckily goers around the beach were, kind of distracting the bull, and she got her thing. She, they protect her. Thank you, Jesus. But lesson learned is don't try and think that it's a bull out of all, man. That's the same bull that you see when they doing the ole. No, that was not your friend. And then you're going to take, you can look, the sandwiches can stay. Okay. You can make another sandwich. Please, man, please. Anyways, I digress, y'all. That was Common Sense University here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, gonna do a quick commercial break, but when I come back, I'm gonna bring on Mr. Mikey G again, host of Black Owned World on YouTube, an amazing platform. So excited to have him on. We're gonna do a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the one and only Mr. Mikey G on. So don't go anywhere and do not change that dial.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
That is one handsome man on that. I just realized that. Anyway, y'all. Anyway. Like I said, the man of the hour, the person you've all been waiting for, my guest for this show, the one and only Mr. Mikey G. Let me bring him on. Oh, hold on. Let me change that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Mikey, what's going on with you, boss?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
Man, thank you so much for just taking the time out your busy schedule here for a conversation on the program. Like I mentioned before in the show, huge fan of your platform, huge fan of what your movement that you're promoting on your platform. You're currently, I mean, well in the thousands on your YouTube channel, so obviously your audience continues to grow, but it's still a great amount of people to see the good and not the just not the ratchet in a sense. I feel as though we're in an era where people think they have to be famous by acting a fool, doing the wrong, but not showcasing the right and the bright side. And I feel as though your platform is, well, I know, so I don't feel as though I know your platform has been showing nothing but the good. And I mentioned earlier, for me, it's almost like another black owned business directory, but you get to actually visually see it. You get to hear the story behind it and talk with the owners and the creators behind it. It's really, really dope. Before we go more into the black owned world, man, can you tell folks a little bit about you, where you're from, just a small, a quick background about you?
All right, yeah, no problem. So my name is Mikey G. I'm the YouTuber. I'm the host of Black Owned World, as you mentioned earlier. But yeah, I grew up in Virginia my whole life, Northern Virginia, born and raised. And yeah, I'll tell you, most of my life, I didn't really focus on Black owned businesses at all. I didn't really understand the importance of supporting Black owned businesses until a few years ago. But yeah, it's about it. We'll get more into why I decided to start doing my YouTube channel. But yeah, nothing too crazy, nothing other than that, just a normal life.
Okay. Okay, so Northern Virginia guy. Where was, say, okay, so because you said that black owned businesses really wasn't in your focus during your youth. What was like your focus, like growing up, like say, okay, boom, high school, after high school, what was your focus that you wanted to pursue growing up?
Growing up, honestly, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I remember I used to tell my parents all the time, I want to play video games. I want to be a video game tester, not knowing they didn't get paid a lot, Can't live off of that unless you want to live on your mom's couch, and I didn't want that problem. but I didn't know what I was going to get into until it was time to go to college. And I told my mom, I was like, I'm not going to waste your money. I'm not going to be like one of these students that go off and I think I'm going to change my major. Like, no, you better know what you're doing when you're paying for tuition.
I know that's right.
But yeah, that's about it. I decided to go into criminal justice at VCU, graduated from there with a bachelor's in criminal justice. I figured it's good job security. It's either that or either I have a job and I'm living in the world that I'm living in, or I can't find a job, but at least the world is perfect because there's no crime.
Okay. Little did he know the word. No, I'm joking. But you know what? And not trying to get off topic, but okay, being a student in college, you got your undergrad, you pursued criminal justice. Currently, there's the conversation of where upcoming students and youth really find more beneficial, pursuing education or going, say, the vocational route, trade school, because you have a lot of students that they start their college career with a lot of just excited, right? Excited. They're like, boom, when I graduate in 4 years, I'm about to make this money, yada yada yada. And okay, what student loan, man, I'm gonna be paid with that, regardless, yada yada. And then when they graduate, they graduate with a lot of debt, no job, sometimes never even pursuing the career that they majored in. And it's a whole different aspect. So there's starting to be the growth, in a sense, to vocational schools. What's your thoughts, man? And again, as a business owner, what's your thoughts on the conversation of, hey, still lean towards education, universities, or lean more to the vocational? What's your thought on that? Or what take would you like on that?
I believe in both. Okay. But if you go the education route, you have to go within, I would say, what they call the STEM. you know,
Mm-hmm.
technology, uh, what's that, math, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
engineering is the E. Those are the ones that I feel like you have good enough security where you're gonna make enough money to pay off the college loan debt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you don't want to. I don't think it's the right way to go if you want to become an actor,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
things like that. You want to go into the art type of thing. And honestly, some of the you things with that are more subjective,
Mm-hmm.
like art, everything. You don't need to go to college for that. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this: people use YouTube wrong. They get on there and they just start cat videos. Ooh, let me watch some twerking.
Y'all
Like,
better realize that's the most free university right there.
it
What?
is. You can at least things like art. You can at least learn the basics off of watching YouTube videos, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You don't need to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to a school for that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I use YouTube to learn how to fix. I had an issue came up on my car. The blinky lights came on. I said, "Oh, let me figure this out." I plug it in. I look it up. I YouTube what the code is. Oh, that's all I got to do. I was about to pay $600 for this. I did it myself. Shoot.
Let me tell you something, because look, them prices are spiking right now. I don't know about cost of living is spiking, interest rates on homes, cars, everything is expensive. And it's funny because my wife is the same way with when it comes to cars. She's like, if we're looking at something, she's like, if all fails, go on YouTube. And I'm like, man, I'd rather just go to a professional. And and I always she's like, go on YouTube, because a professional sometimes will up, especially if it's not a if it's an independent owned, everybody's gonna have different prices, and they
Right.
gonna look at the type of car you have, or just say, okay, all right, beef that up about 20 more, $50 more, $100 more. Oh, that's a foreign car. Oh, that's gonna take about 3 weeks to get that part. You know what that meant? Labor. Woo, let me tell you about that labor though. And then really the part, I'm like, this part costs $25. How am I getting the $500 to? And so you're right. I mean, YouTube University, I call it, you can learn so much. And I think too, man, to add on what you were just saying, I think as long as you still have that dream, because I feel as though, and I've heard a conversation that Steve Harvey had, and he just said, my teacher was teaching me, education, how to educate, right? Or how to be educated. She never taught my dream. My dream was always, there. As long as I think if you still have that dream and keep on pursuing, that's also, that's always going to help. And like you mentioned, when it comes to the arts, I mean, it's you wouldn't have to really say pursue too much education, and it waste a lot of money and funds, because opportunity is always around, man. But I just wanted to kind of get your thought on that, being that you being in college and having your degree and going through that process. I did the same thing, and it's funny because my family was like, well, maybe you should get your master's. I said, I don't know, because those 4 years was already tough. At them 4 years, I was like, but my wife, she's the scholar in the family. She got her master's. She's talking about getting her PhD. I'm like, girl, that's what I'm talking about. You do you.
You got one of those. My wife the same way. She got like 2 masters. She got a wall in her office.
I can't stand them. I'm like, y'all collecting masters over here. Why about collect some Hot Wheels or something? Have a better hobby. You over here collecting degrees, man. I'm like,
got degrees. She got like 4 of them on the wall. And then I look at my wall, just one.
Look. I got even something better. Walking across walking across graduation, I'm seeing everybody with their ropes and tassels and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't have what my necklace said. I ain't got a necklace or nothing. That thing just bare. But my wife had all the ropes and stuff. So no, I truly understand, man. But look, I want to go more with your platform, Black Owned World. How was the creation process behind creating Black Owned World?
I'll tell you, I was just, you get frustrated a lot. You sit there, you think about what's going on in the Black community. Why does it seem like we're taking one step forward, 2 steps back? People in the neighborhoods, they're living in the same house that the grandmama lived in. There's no progression. And I thought I was just daydreaming and it was a brainstorming. Brainstorming about different ways and how. And one of the things that came up was in my mind was businesses. What are we doing that other communities aren't, right? And you notice if you look at it really, you see a lot of times Hispanic communities, they make sure they support Hispanic owned businesses.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, white people, it's easier for white community because it's almost everywhere, right? And then you look inside neighborhoods, whether they're middle class or lower class, you see most of the stores in there aren't black owned.
No,
You know,
no.
there's a Chinatown, but you don't see a black town.
You're
Not
absolutely right.
like it used to be, you know. But
That's absolutely right.
and it's
Look,
sad.
that was Harlem.
Harlem was one. Yep. There's Tulsa, you know,
Mhm.
Greenwood.
That's right. That's right.
It was those, and that was a beautiful thing. And we gotten away from it. And that's a bad part. We used to have banks. We had a lot more banks than what we got now. Right now, I can only find three or four.
Wow.
I support one. Shout out to should I put out my banking? No, I don't want to do that.
It's not your banking information either. Don't put the banking.
Yeah, right. Y'all don't want my credit card number, but no, I'm you know, I'll just say check out City First Bank or the one that they just joined up with, which was they joined up. They just joined up with another, but I can't think of their name right now. But City First Bank's a good bank, black owned bank to check out if you want to support a black owned bank. But it's we don't have our money going from black hand to black hand.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's a problem. I figured, well, why not help with that? What's the biggest issue? Why aren't we supporting? Well, half the time we don't know. We don't know what's out there. I started this, it blew my mind. I had no idea that there was a black-owned business that had its own TV, cell phone service. Shout out to Figures. I didn't know that was out there. But you know, you just gotta keep on Google it, type in black-owned, whatever you're looking for.
And it's really unfortunate, and you're absolutely right, because when it comes to other minority groups, like, you know, the Hispanic community, like the Asian American community, I mean, the Native American community, really they indulge in their own dollar, and they continue to build, and that's why it's difficult when, again, for us, for the black community, when we do protest and fight for this and that, and people are like, well, I don't see the other ones protesting like you. I don't see the other communities arguing and protesting. What's the deal? And it kind of ties into, like you said, there was a Tulsa, there was more black owned banks in neighborhoods at that time, and then eventually that was taken from them, and it's been so difficult to get that. That's why you hear a lot in the news about politicians bringing up the reparations. Like, I mean, there was a family out in California, I can't remember exactly which city, but they did win the settlement because they're in their ancestry tree, they did own a good chunk of this beach, and I think they received like $25 million went towards the family, which was awesome, because again, legacy wealth. But I brought in the question, issues that occur for black owned businesses face in today. And one report I just brought up was this was by reported in 2023 by Intuit QuickBooks, reports also that 57% of black businesses owners were denied a bank loan at least once when they started their business, compared to the 37% of non-black business owners. We know that in order to become a business owner, you got to have money. It's not, you don't just, get it for free. At least $5,000, maybe even more. I look at our culture as the culture of hustlers. When it comes to multiple streams, I feel like that came from us. Like we're our mind, because it's like, okay, if we find an issue with something, it's like, well, let me create it. And that's kind of like the story behind my business. Like I was finding an issue with it, and I said, well, let me get creative, and I create my own, do my own research, and that's what it occurred. But my brain goes like, and like all of us, our brain goes like a radio when it comes to ideas. We find a solution, we're like, okay, we figured it out, let's pursue it, let's make some money about it. But bank loans is one. One thing that kills me is that I feel like the black dollar is the most lucrative, because when it comes to consumers, we can go to like the hair industry. the hair industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry that I would say mostly Black women invest in. And then when you go to get your products, your hair, and this and that, who own the stores? Not a Black person. And why, and why is that? So I'm going on a rant, but I want to ask, in starting Black-owned world, what was your first of all the all-around mission and goal for once you started this platform?
Well, one of the biggest problems that I'm sure you face as a business owner is that there's already that stigma against black businesses that they're not good enough. They're cheap, pretty much made in China. Things that and it's sad that that's on there, because there are plenty of Black-owned businesses that put out a good product, and they work hard to make, create, and find the materials to make their product. You got a good one yourself. I have to say, or there's always the idea that, I won't get my stuff on time. They're going to overcharge me, and it's just not true. And I want, with Black-owned world, I want to bust those myths. Those things are true for some businesses out there. They're out there, but you're always going to hear stories about the negative. You're always going to hear the negative stories about how some business didn't do something right, but you rarely hear about the good ones. So I said, well, let me help these people out. Let me help them find these businesses out here that are serious about what they do. Make sure they want to give the customer exactly what they want and even more. Wow. And if not, they're willing to do that work to make it right to you, make it right for you. So, and I said, well, what's one thing that people want to know they're getting a good product? Let me start doing some product review videos. I want to get, I get all the products that I review are products that are I bought it myself. They're not given to me.
Wow.
So I'm vested in it. I'm saying, hey, I'm gonna tell you, if I don't like it, I don't like it. If I do, I'm gonna tell you what I like about it. And that's just the main thing. I want people to find out that what we got out there. B, find out that we have some good products. And C, don't be afraid to go ahead and try something new. Change it up.
Wow. And that's so awesome, Mike, because like you mentioned before, growing up, you really didn't, you didn't really know too much about, Black-owned businesses, because it was somewhat foreign. Like I mentioned before the show, in the beginning stages of when I was starting my business, I became a part of a e-commerce site called We Buy Black, and We Buy Black, I consider it the Black version of Amazon. It's all Black-owned business, and I was still to this day, I'm always shell shocked at it's hundreds and hundreds of businesses, and all of them are completely different. They're not the same. They're completely different businesses, but Black-owned. And I remember my very first convention I attended over in Atlanta, which Atlanta has always been considered Black Hollywood, the opportunity for Black businesses and nothing but Black people and Black success, the whole 9 yards. I remember going to We Buy Black, and I'm like, whoa! Right across the hall right here is or just this walkway, the first Black-owned laundry detergent brand, and I think it's called True Detergent. I saw the Black-owned oral brand. It's so funny. The first thing my mom purchased is funny. I'm shaking my head because my mom is literally like in the back, like, tell them what I bought. And I'm like, all right, all right. But I'm over in the office here. The first thing my mom bought, and she was sharing with everybody when we got back to Virginia, it was Band-Aids that were the different shades of brown, and they were called Browndages. And I was like, what? Because we never seen no brown Band-Aids, man.
Right.
And so that was something that just blew our mind, and it was just amazing stuff. And then it continued to grow my passion. And man, do you understand how much we can be invested in? It's good for us. It's made from good material. It's not anything artificial like and this and that. And I just thought it was awesome. I thought it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And still to this day, I'm like, wow, this isn't foreign anymore, because being a kid from Virginia, you rarely see a lot of I will say at least a lot of eyes and showcasing when it comes to Black-owned businesses.
You're right. I'd say another thing that's different, well, not different now, but what I would like to see change is parents raising their kids to support Black-owned businesses, right? It's not a big deal in other communities because that's just normal. It's like, oh yeah, you gotta buy something, go on ahead, you go to Chinatown, make sure you buy from this store, buy from
Right.
there, it's no big deal. But we've been trained out of the idea of supporting Black owned businesses,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we
Very
live
true.
here and it's hard to find and don't know where to go to even find one.
That's right. That's right.
So I would say that. I mean, growing up, what was the only Black owned thing that everybody wanted, all the kids wanted at my school was FUBU for a little bit. You remember that?
Hey, I had the jumpsuits, I had the jogging suits.
You're right. So
What them man, Sky Blue, and it was a period when it was popping. I mean, you had at that time FUBU, you had Fat Farm, you had oh man, well, Sean John was very heavy Rockaware. I mean,
yeah.
The more I think, I'm like, wow, it's really not, because all of them don't exist to my knowledge. I don't think they're still in on shelves or anything like that, like Sean John, all those other spots.
Yeah. A lot of times it's like we trained out of it. Kids want whatever the cool rappers are wearing, what they talking about. Oh yeah, I got the I don't know, Ralph Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger was good for a little while. It's like, no, we got to start focusing on Black owned and start telling our kids, hey, you got to go with this. This is what helps us. What gives back to the community. These are the people we're taking, like you said, we are the biggest consumer here in America.
Biggest consumer.
Biggest. And because of that, most of the money that can be used to help out the community, to rebuild the community, that could buy up land instead of having stuff get gentrified and then everyone else moves in. That stuff can stay within our pockets and we could do so much more with it.
Absolutely. And it's very true. And that goes into the consumer intelligence, because we cannot always, as much as, hey, Jordans make great sneakers and this and that and the other, we can't continue to say, okay, this is my last check, or this, I'm still, I'm barely paying the rent, but I got to get these new J's, man. I got to. It's like, come on, you got to be smart with the dollar and find more ways to make it a better investment and beneficial. Also, what I find hard too, as far as for some of the issues that occur for Black owned businesses, is sometimes it's our own selves that hurt it more. And like, kind of like what you're saying, at least starting within, a child's upbringing on the importance of investing in Black owned businesses, because I feel as though, man, sometimes our own people, we're our biggest competitors and biggest competition. Like, I remember Chris Rock made a joke about, man, we can't even keep a disco open, the grand opening, grand closing. Like, we can't even, like, it's like, why do you think, man, why do you think it's so hard to gain the community's trust in a product, rather than they can at least start off by saying, oh no, we gonna buy first, and then, rather than just put them down completely? Because it's very easy and quick to put another Black owned business down, or either become a competitor, rather than, hey, look, how can we network together? How can we cross promote things in that nature? It's always a competition. But what's your thought process on that?
It's funny you mentioned that, because I watched an episode where Godfrey, the comedian, had where he got interviewed with Shannon Sharp on the Shay Shay Show. He mentioned the story where he was saying that he was talking to a Asian man. He told him, like, why? He asked the Asian man asked him. He said, why can't you Black people work together? What's the problem? You can't even organize crime. And he sat there and thought about it. It's like, wow, there's Italian mafia, there's a Chinese triad, there's Yakuza, there's all kinds. Everyone else has a mafia but Black people.
That's right.
We got gangs, and even the gangs are going against each other.
Killing each other.
Killing each other. And I think that goes back to what you brought up earlier. There's a lot of hustlers. There's a lot of people with the hustler mindset. And it's good. It's good to have, but when you have a hustler mindset, you're looking at everyone else's competition.
Absolutely.
You're looking at everyone else's, oh, they're trying to get what I got, so I got to protect it, or I want what they got, so I'm gonna go get it because it's easier than me to try to build it. And that's where the mindset has to change. We have to stop thinking from the hustler mindset, where you're thinking about getting the most. You're thinking about getting the most profit.
That's
without
right.
with the least amount of work and time. the entrepreneurial mindset is different, whereas you're thinking about, okay, I'm not going to make money right now, but 3 or 5 years from now, this might be able to help pay some bills. And then maybe
That's
10 years from now, this is going to help pay the mortgage. It's a totally different mindset. And when you think as an entrepreneur, you are definitely more likely to work with other people to build.
That's right. That's right. And then on top of that too, Mikey, entrepreneurial mindset never rushes through. They like, I feel as though they don't think of the money aspect. There's so many people, and like, again, when it comes to hustlers, get rich quick scheme, right? So
Right.
they're thinking like, oh, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna make this and do that and do this, and then they start missing some step, which that's actually gonna kind of tie into our next convo. So I'll hold on what I was gonna bring up to it. But I mean, what you're saying is absolutely right. Separating the hustler's mindset to the entrepreneur mindset. And I think now I will hope that at least in school they can teach more when it comes to entrepreneurship. And two, and that's another thing. I personally think, and I want your thought. Do you think society plays a part on kind of like the issues that black owned businesses face, because it's they don't showcase a lot of black owned businesses, for one.
Right.
Two, what am I trying to say here? They're showing a lot of, in a sense, black on black crime.
Right.
They also, when you look at, say, lower income communities, specifically more urban communities, look at what they have surrounding them. They might have beat up basketball courts rather than having libraries or anything that's more resourceful for them, in a sense. So I mean, would you say, society kind of, does play a part and kind of continues to help make it harder for black communities to invest and have knowledge when it comes to entrepreneurship?
Oh, definitely. That ties into with the media, right? Like you said, media. If you don't see that there's more than one way to get out the hood. But what we glorify, or becoming a basketball star, becoming a great singer.
Yeah.
You don't see, it's not really glamorized as much when someone becomes a leading genetic scientist, right?
Hey, this one just won the Nobel Peace Prize, and so this person just dropped a new album out. What you talking about?
Making it rain. And that new Bugatti, like, it's not glamorized as much. Now, the education aspect has definitely also been so. I say that plays a huge part in it too, just because we are given into that so much. Because I agree with you, we do need more. I think we need more brothers and sisters that are involved in vocational work. Instead of becoming an attorney or a lawyer. We need more of those, because the truth of the matter is those are the jobs that build a society.
That's a straight bar right there. That ain't
you can have 5 lawyers. They're not going to build a house.
Very true.
They're not going to run electricity through it. They're not going to put AC in there. They're not going to put plumbing in there for you to get water.
Wow.
So I definitely hats off to people who have a trade. It's a very important skill. And guess what? You don't have to go that much into debt to do it.
Okay. I was waiting for it. You're absolutely right, because there's people always think that, no, I can't be no plumber, because why? It's the image. We're always focused on the image of things. That's why when you mentioned, it's easy for youth to be for their idols to be guys like LeBron James, who's a very successful athlete. He earns everything he has. He's a great business owner as well. No discredit to him, but they see people like LeBron. They'll see people like a Drake or a Kendrick. They'll see people like, they see the flashiness without ever paying attention at the work and what it really takes. They look at someone like a plumber that's like, nah, that man, look at what he's driving. For one, I ain't driving in no plumber's van. I ain't cleaning up no crap. But guess what? This joker making 6 figures. This joker is an independent contractor. This guy probably has other employees. He just happens to get his hands dirty. And like you mentioned too, this guy's not in debt because it didn't require 4-year program added on to maybe another 4 years, for masters. I mean, it's just people have to start putting the whole let's pay attention at the book rather than pay attention at the actual verbiage inside it and read about it. They're just like, okay, what can make me look good and flashy? And that hurts us because you again, going back to consumer intelligence, there's people I see that, again, they're struggling either paying their rent or behind some bills. Yet I'm like, you going on a trip to Dubai? Wait, what? Why you can't just go to like Williamsburg or something? I mean, you could save a lot of money. I mean, we got beaches here. It's like they do Dubai. They're driving flashy cars, which are, again, cars are material items, ladies and gents. And I always like to kind of throw some entrepreneur tips in here. A vehicle comes and goes very quickly. But a home, land, property is always going to be here. I'm not too familiar with stocks, but I do know people that are highly invested in stocks. When it comes to certain things like that, invest in stuff that's beneficial, that will last long, rather than, hey, look, a flashy car will, like I said, will come and go. Nobody's ever, promised the next day you could be in an accident. This can happen, that can happen. It's like, just please don't. I remember when Spinners was in style, man. I'm like, what in the world?
Oh man, I remember when my grandma was around. I love it so much. We were all having dinner out, and it was on the patio. You could see outside, and she freaks out. She's like, "Oh snap! What? He gonna hit him?" The car already stopped, like a few feet away from the car in front of him, but because the wheels are spinning still, she "Oh, he going? Why didn't he hit him?" she was. I'm like, "Oh God, girl, I got
your grandma said, wait a minute, the car is still moving. Oh, that's just the rims. Oh man, look, hey, let me tell you something. I was the same when you first look at it. I'm like, hold up, he stopped, but the wheels are still moving. What in the world?
That car's moonwalking.
Not the car's moonwalking. That is, oh my gosh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious, man. Well, look, Mikey, I want to move on to the really the next one is, okay, we've spoken about issues that Black-owned businesses face, but I want to kind of go into, why do Black-owned businesses fail? So I will say, like, at least in the Hampton Roads area, my hometown, I've seen it's almost like a pattern. Like, when a Black-owned business opens, and it's sad to say, but within conversation, you're like, oh Lord, I hope it stays open for I hope it stays open. That's the key thing. You'll see a business that it looks like it's doing great, and then like 2 years later, it closes, and it's like, whoa, what happened? Right. So, in your opinion, why do you think, and we can kind of go back and forth on it, like, why do you think something like Black-owned businesses fail?
I'll tell you this. One big issue that I've seen, and other business owners have told me, is marketing, right? Some Black-owned businesses are marketing wrong. And I'll tell you like this in the story, where my man Derek over at Miguel Wilson, he works at Miguel Wilson, another Black-owned business where I got.
Is that in Maryland?
That's in Maryland. It's National Harbor.
Yes.
Yeah.
The gentleman. I've been. Well, yes, I have family in the Fort Washington area, PG County side, and I'm very familiar with the harbor, but I'm familiar with the gentleman because I've seen this. Like, who is this clean brother on? Again, crossing path through social media. It comes through my feed because I guess, again, one friend knows somebody, it just pops up. And yes, so I'm very familiar with this. Never had the opportunity to meet him. I would love to interview him. But very, very sharp brother, successful. I see, like I said, I see a lot through social media, but just wanted to throw that in there. Yeah, very familiar with Miguel Wilson. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Miguel, shout out to you. He love his business, but yeah. So Derek, he works at Miguel Wilson's, and he told me how there was a Black-owned sneaker store that opened up down the street, and National Harbor, real nice area,
very nice, exquisite.
Real nice area.
Is that where like the Gaylord Hotel is, and like
Gaylord Hotel
by the Woodrow Wilson Bridge coming off the Woodrow?
Yep. You know it. It's right near the casino and all that.
That's right, the MGM casino. That's right.
Yeah. So he was talking to the owner over there, and he's letting them know. He's like, hey, he has some. What can I do to get more business? And he tells him, it's like, dude, you gotta cut out the whole Black-owned thing. You got it on the sign that says Black-owned on it. And then people are walking up and down the area. They feel like it's not for them. Put that sign away. They don't need to know if you're Black-owned or not. most of the people here that come through here aren't black, and we want everyone's money. Don't matter if
Absolutely.
you're black, white, yellow, whatever. Asian people don't mind taking black people dollars in the hood,
That's right. That's
right?
right.
So you gotta, unless your product is something that's specific to black community, 'cause sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it does work. It does
Mm-hmm.
help with black skincare products,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
black hair care products, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But you got sometimes keep it hidden. You don't have to put it out there. It will scare off a lot more customers because we're only 13% of the population here in America.
Wow. Wow.
Right.
So it
So
sounds pretty much like knowing your audience, knowing your target audience as well, because and I mean I've already done it before, and I'll still continue to share it. Like when I was, attending We Buy Black, when I was I was a vendor there.
right.
Keyword We Buy Black. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is catered to black. So of course, everybody gonna say black owned businesses, right? Everybody's gonna say that, and really don't have to, because it's like, well, Arrington, the audience there. But there's a certain way to market it. Like when I first initially started my brand, presentation was everything. But I've always, and it is true, it works for all skin types, all hair textures. So
Right.
I'm in photos, videos with Hispanics, with with facial hair,
Right.
Caucasian men, black men of all different shades. And so definitely marketing is extremely important. I think too, that's something that business owners always have to be aware of when starting a business. Is majority of your money is going to go to marketing and promotion. Without, I mean, yeah, word of mouth is cool. If you're not someone like a high public figure, which I kind of joke with a friend of mine on the show before. I can't stand celebrities that start different sides. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. No hate towards them, but I don't like it because it's like, okay, Rick Ross. I don't know why he's off the top of the dome right now, but Rick Ross, investor in Wingstop, perfect, boom. Producer, rapper, other ventures, and also he has a beard care brand. And I'm just like, now Ross, like, and let's be honest, a lot of these public figures, they partner with creators, and the creators say, hey, look, we would love for you to be the face if you can market it as kind of like the owner. Tracy Ellis Ross has a hair care line. Oh Lord, anything you name it. Bobby Brown has a line of seasonings and stuff, and I'm just like, cool. He got seasoning. He got organic seasonings and this and that. So I always, and the reason why also I can't stand it, because I was watching Good Morning America one time, and they were talking about, hey, it's time to shout out all the black owned businesses. When I tell you 3 of those black owned businesses were owned by celebrities. Magic Johnson had this. Lala Anthony had that. Oprah Winfrey heavily endorsed it. Like it's like I'm happy. I want to continue to see our people win and build, but it's like, okay, what about the mom and pop that's really trying to invest? As you already have, can you do something to help? Maybe shout out me and stuff. So I've always kind of had that frustration with that, because for them, marketing is nothing. They already have a following. They're gonna buy it regardless if this person say, hey, look, I touched it, it's gold, buy it, invest in it. But people, when it comes to business, you definitely have to be smart and know about the marketing and the promotion. And it's such a, I mean, you working, being an expert when it comes to tech, being in social media, you are the face behind black owned world, the media company, the brand, the YouTube channel. So you're familiar with the different cameras and angles, and you see how social media marketing is more beneficial sometimes than print. And it's something that's difficult. Have you been approached by businesses as far as, helping when it comes to their marketing?
I actually have not had a black owned business approach me, which I would love to be able to shoot a video and plug real quick, Rugged Evolution beard care.
Oh, stop it. Don't make me play another commercial.
But I would love to be able to do that, but I haven't been approached. I've had a couple. Was it some jeans? Wasn't Levi? Oshkosh or something like that. I've had other businesses send me an email. I open it, I look, I'm like, man, I wish this was a black owned business, because I'm strictly trying to keep my channel about supporting black owned, and I don't feel right telling you, hey, support black owned. Here's a white-owned commercial, you know. So I don't want to do plugs for them, but yeah, I would love to be able to see that. And I just haven't gotten big enough. I put that on me. I haven't gotten big enough. I need to get bigger and bigger.
Well, it's gonna happen soon, sir. It's definitely gonna happen very soon. But I mean, but it's I'm glad you mentioned the marketing piece, because really that marketing piece is it somewhat is the only, because obviously the product is always going to be there. You know, you definitely have to have confidence within your product, whatever you're selling, whatever you're, you know, sharing to the people. But marketing is everything. So I mean, it's just, we're living in a digital world where it's like, if you're not good, if you don't have a good social media presence or this and that, I mean, it's extremely important. But it's interesting when you had brought up that story about the gentleman had black owned outside, thinking that's a you know, a selling point. And that's, I'm like, wow, that's, when you think about it, yeah, because not all black people is gonna be walking by the store. So a white guy might look and be like, looks nice, but it said black owned, so nothing for me.
Oh, I guess they got nothing but some J's in there.
exactly. What do you think when it comes to I'll say this, when it comes to restaurant chains, because I feel like that's a I'll just say in my hometown, it's kind of like a familiar business to invest in, you know, black owned business. Soul food spot. Ooh, this soul food, this or like a lounge. And again, it don't stay open for, you know, for long, because it's always something. And here's me getting on the critiquing it, whether if it's like, you know, service or you know, customer service, things in that nature. But yeah, have you do you see, as you know, restaurants also being, you know, a harder industry for, you know, for people to, you know, to invest in and things in that nature? Well, excuse me, black owned businesses.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it depends on the product, right? People like to know what food they go to get. They like to feel like they're getting something authentic. So if you got a Southern food spot, you know, definitely go ahead, put black on there so people know I'm getting authentic Southern cuisine right here. You know, these are gonna be some good what collard greens.
Exactly. You ain't had collars like these collars. I put my ankle in it. They put their foot. I put my ankle in it.
Ooh, nasty. Oh, look at Auntie's feet. I don't want to talk to no. But no, it's true. But I would like to see one thing. There's a black owned Mexican restaurant up here in Northern Virginia.
What? Wow. Yeah. So that's very unique. That's a first. That's a first I've ever heard of. That's really unique.
And nobody will know. They don't advertise it as this black owned Mexican restaurant. Well, not a lot of people will trust that, right?
Wow, very true.
But I would like to see that, because there's plenty of businesses that you know, you go to Popeyes, they got a black lady as a spokesperson, right? But that's not black.
But sometimes don't you kind of get offended when you see that lady though?
I do.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little offended seeing this black lady on this Popeyes commercial, and then I get more upset when I'm in the drive-through. I'm like, because I saw that commercial, you know what, Popeyes do sound good right about now. Like, you know, let me go ahead and give me a 3-piece. This a snack. Spicy. Look, let me tell you something. When you hungry, man, shoot, Popeyes be coming in clutch. And also, man, look, I want to ask you know, my third question, and then I will kind of bring on a kind of a closing to it. But like, you know, the beauty of, you know, black owned businesses, with you and your brand, you've interviewed, you've had conversations, reviews, a lot of black owned businesses. What has been the beauty of it? You know, any not favorite businesses, but what was some of just the highlights of, you know, black owned world, the you know, the channel, the brand that you've encountered, and, you know, things in that nature?
I'll tell you, one thing that I enjoy is when I look at the comments on some of my videos, and people say things like, "Oh, I didn't know this was out. Thanks for telling me. Oh, I'm switching. I'm gonna try this out today. I'm gonna buy it today." You know, and most of the time it's another black person, and I'm like, wow, I did something. It's one more mind that got changed. Wow. So those really make me happy. But another thing that really makes me happy is building a network and being able to put black business owners together with other black business owners. You know, it really makes me happy to be able to do that. Just having that ability so that I know that black dollars are being exchanged between hands and everything. So those are the two biggest highlights about it. And meeting great
Wow.
entrepreneurs such as yourself,
Wow, man. Oh man, I appreciate it, man. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that was something I forgot to bring up on the last topic we were talking about, as far as with the fails, because again, it's all about, we need to stop worrying about being competitors and learn how to come together. One thing my mom always told me is, like, it takes a village in order to grow. If you're trying to build, if you're trying to succeed and grow with anything, you can't do it alone. You build
Right.
with you build with the village, and you win in numbers, right? You win in numbers when, if one person is out there, protesting about, hey, look, the when it comes to access to capital and resources in the black community, we need to do better. That one person can't do it on their own, especially out in the world. If more voices say it, man, and it will raise a lot of attention. I mean,
Right.
let's be honest, and not trying to get kind of bring the conversation close. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back up to more happy. But if we can kind of go far left with the at the time when George Floyd incident, right?
Right.
It was so many people marching, not just in the States, but in the overseas, like in Europe. And
Mhm.
at that time, there was no person in law enforcement that was ever received any consequences. They never seen a officer get sentenced, never.
Right.
But because of numbers, what did you see? You saw justice served for his family, and that made a difference. So again, we can do the same thing when it comes to our businesses. I'm not saying go on marches, but we always need to be supportive and continue to be that piece to continue to network. Networking is a very important thing when it
Yes.
comes to businesses. I mean, like Mikey and I are doing right now, we're networking. We're going to stay connected and stay in touch, and say, hey, look, I got a gentleman who's starting a black owned business. Do you think he can maybe hit you up, and vice versa? I mean, that's the whole fun part I enjoy here on this program, is that I get to have sit down conversations. Not, I don't call them interviews, because interviews is like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Conversations are more long-winded. So I enjoy having the conversations and learning the stories and all that great stuff. And again, it's very important, the fact that people, especially within the black community, should look at what they're spending their dollar at the most, and start checking out black owned businesses. I know there's multiple, there's a directory called, I think, Virginia Black Business Directory or something.
Yep.
It's based out of Northern Virginia, if I'm not, Richmond.
BBBD. Yep.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Look, I'm a part of them as well,
Great.
and I mean, I can literally go online. Shout out to them. I can go online and literally just type in a category, and it will show, okay, which or location. It's very accessible, very resourceful. I'm a part of a e-commerce group called Black Brands. I mean, that's another awesome thing. And it's stuff like that continues to help knowledge me. And I'm like, I make sure with my family, look, we got to invest in the black dollar. We really
Right.
do have to continue to build that up and help change that narrative, man. But Mikey, look, I don't go anywhere. I want to chop it with you just a few more minutes after the show. But as far as from here, I thank you. I know our audience enjoyed this conversation. Again, how can people continue to support and follow you, man, and see what you got going on in the future?
Oh, great. Yes. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Black Owned World. Type it in. You'll see my little logo on there. It looks like this, look like that. So then you're at the right spot when you see that. But
That's
yeah,
right.
I
Awesome,
appreciate you bringing
man.
me on, man.
Awesome. Well, look, don't go anywhere, Mike. We're gonna chop it up a little bit, but again, ladies and gents, Mr. Mikey G, host and founder of Black Owned World on YouTube. Please subscribe, follow right now or right after this show. Do it. Please do it. Mikey, thank you so much, fam, and we're gonna chop it up real quick. Hold on. Look, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this awesome conversation I had with Mr. Mikey G, again, founder, host of Black Owned World. Do me a favor, whether if you're African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, or white American, look, invest in a black owned business. Learn more, learn on the history, and just please be an investment, be a blessing to them. Amazing businesses out here. Again, I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you so much. Hey, be sure to tune into the Arrington Gavin show every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast. Okay, wherever you listen to your podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple. Again, wherever you listen to your podcast, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin show. If you prefer to watch the video version of this platform, You can drops on those exact same days. You see that the ticker down there at 5 p.m. on our YouTube channel, R Smooth Club Media, as well as Facebook on R Smooth Club Podcast, Rumble at the Arrington Gavin Show, RSC Media on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. And you can check out reruns of this program every Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. on ESP TV on Facebook or ErnestSmithProduction.com. And you can actually check out, we have a website in the works right now, the ArringtonGavinShow.com. So you can check it out. You can watch some shows on that platform as well. And also do me a favor, on weekends, every Sundays at noon, I host a weekly radio show called In Your City with my friends, comedian Ciroc Fox and hustle queen Miss Michelle Young. Again, every Sundays at noon on WNSB Hot 91, the soul of VA. If you are not in the Hampton Roads area, no worries. You can download their app. It's free, so you can listen there, or you can listen by going to WNSB.org online. So again, y'all, I truly appreciate the convo. I appreciate you continue to support. Love you. Stay blessed. Peace and blessings. Stay safe out there. I'm out.